Hey, it's Nick Tumminello here. I want to show you my 3 moves for my ultimate express warm-up. If a client is late, short on time, this is my go-to express warm-up. So the first one is going to get you warm, and it's going to be a gorilla burpee. This is my version of a burpee. Why? Because I think the traditional burpee where you just go down here is a little bit too back-oriented. I'm not saying it's dangerous, but to me, I'd rather get more legs involved. So you notice the way Alejandra's doing this, and she's sitting down into it. Now, I've got other videos on this, so I'm going to keep this about the warm-up, but I'll address this just in case you haven't seen the videos. I understand burpees are a controversial exercise. Some trainers hate them, other trainers do too many of them. I won't get into whether the arguments about whether burpees are a conditioning exercise or not. But when it comes to something that gets you really warm, really fast, in a short amount of reps, 8 to 10 reps, that requires no space or equipment, you cannot beat that exercise. Now, here's how to do a segmented gorilla burpee for someone who's not as good at jumping back. This would be considered a regression if you use those terms. Go ahead. See, steps back, steps in. Now, you still need some mobility for this. So this is what you do if someone has less range of motion. So when they come down, they're less mobile, when they come down, they sort of start to cave. All you do is you give them something that raises their hands up so they can still do the gorilla burpee. Now, what if they have less range of motion and they don't control out the dynamic jump well or the higher impact version? Then you go to a hands elevated, segmented gorilla burpee. So the next exercise in our express warm-up is my version of the world's greatest stretch, originally by the folks at Exos, which used to be called Athletes Performance. I call it the Yogaplex. There's a lot of versions of this. This is one of my favorite versions that I'm showing you right now. So it really kind of covers everything, which is why we like it. You get thoracic extension, thoracic rotation, hip extension and hip flexion, and a little bit of a hamstring stretch. You cannot go wrong with it. There's not a single other mobility exercise that gets this much done in as little time as possible. We normally do about 3 to 4 reps per side. So this is the third and final exercise. It's a speed tight diagonal. It's a total body, semi-power rotational exercise. Good. We would go for about 8 to 10 seconds per side, or about 8 to 10 reps. Go ahead, switch sides, Alejandra. Good. Fast. She's going fast up and fast down. Why is this important? Well, because rotation is one of the foundational movement patterns in most sports and life. So if it's a foundational movement pattern in sports and life, take a break, then it should be foundational in how we train. Yet usually all we do is some isometric, anti-rotation, Pavlov press type stuff, which really doesn't teach the body to work together as a unit like this. The speed is done to really get a neural charge happening and also work on a deceleration aspect. So she's not just driving the weight up by using her legs, mind you, but also powering the weight down. So there you have it. It's my top 3 moves for my ultimate express warm-up. 1 set, give it a shot, and you are absolutely ready to go. Hits all 3 aspects of what a good warm-up is in my book. We have get warm, get loose, get athletic. First one, burpee, got you warm. Second one, Yogaplex, got you loose. And this one absolutely gets you athletic.